Hello, hello, everybody. Look at us here on this late night. It is almost my bed. Actually, it's past my bedtime. 9:57 over here in North Carolina. I hope you are joining me tonight to learn some Tagalog. Let me go ahead and start my Instagram here. You know I like to catch as many people as I can because it's more fun when there's more of us learning together, right? Hello, hello, everybody. I am live on my YouTube channel right now, and I am live on Instagram as well. If you want to catch my slides and my presentation, go ahead and hop onto my YouTube channel because I have all of the information that you need up there written out. So go ahead and jump onto my YouTube channel if you want to see the information written out. Okay, I will go ahead and get started here. So today, we will actually be learning some verbs and related nouns and objects and vocabulary about eating and food. I think this is going to be a good lesson for you because you'll be able to use some of these phrases and words on a daily basis, I think. But first, go ahead and write in the comments where you are watching from and your age. I always like to know who I am teaching. Sometimes I have some very young people. Sometimes I have older people who are just wanting to learn some Tagalog. So go ahead and write where you are currently watching. I am over here in North Carolina. Again, it is way past my bedtime, you guys. But I like to get I like to try out different times just to see my demographics, see who is watching, and maybe I'll catch people at different times. Hello, hello. Chandra is from India. Hello, hello. Sharon is 22. Adam, BGC. Raymond is in Chicago. Oh, I have a friend in Chicago. CB and D. Zida is, so it's so beautiful. Salamat, maraming salamat. Let's see, who else? San Jose. I am a sweet potato. Raven is from South Korea. Nikki is from Guam. Hello, hello. Shaden is from Hawaii. Brittany is also from Guam. Hello, kamusta ka from Arizona? F2JR said, I'm watching from the Philippines. Hello. Saan sa Pilipinas? That's so cool. Georgia, 29. Awesome. Nikki is 35. Hello, hello. I am over here in North Carolina and I am 32 years old. Mount Mayon. Pooch 2024 said, you know, my family is from Bicol, so we visit the Mayon every single time we go home. David is from San Diego, but currently in Hawaii at the moment. Oh, lucky. Mark is from El Paso. Kenvi is from San Jose. Hello, hello. How about over here on YouTube? Where are you guys from? George is from Cyprus. Hello, hello. Sure is from the U.S. Hello, hello. Orpix is from Maryland. Jack is from Alberta, Canada. Also, let me know if my audio is okay. I have two mics plugged in, one for YouTube, one for Instagram. So let me know if you can hear me okay. There shouldn't be an echo if it's working. Air is from Ohio. James is from the U.S. Leo is from Florida. Hello, hello. Deborah from India. Hello again. I think I've seen you here before many times. That guy is from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Hello, hello. Ruben from California. Jeffrey is from Arkansas. Oh, Bonnie is in New Zealand. What time is it in New Zealand? My goodness. Victor is from Detroit. Coconut Dreams from LA. And then to La Union. Oh, right. Ohio to LA to La Union. I remember now. Awesome. Okay. Ballroom is from Utah. Nicholas is from Dubai. Okay, we got to get started, you guys. So again, if you are joining me on Instagram, I'm going live on YouTube as well, and you will be able to see my full lesson on here. So we're going to be learning some verbs about eating and food. Then we will learn how to conjugate these verbs so that you can use them in phrases and in a conversation. Then we will do some practice throughout as well. Oh, Dream Key Success is from Nashville. Hello, hello. Millennia is from Houston. Hello. So here are some verbs that you might hear or say about food. So magluto is to cook. Magluto. Next, kain is to eat. kain. You might also hear kumain. Same thing. We'll see the difference there. Inom is to drink. Inom. Inom. Tikman is to taste. Tikman. Tikman. So kain is to eat. Tikman is to taste. So that's the difference there. Magsaing is to cook rice. I always thought this word was very interesting because it really shows how important rice is to the Filipino culture, right? There is a single word for to cook rice. Magsaing, magsaing. Instead of saying to cook rice, it's just this one word. Again, indicating that rice and then cooking rice, eating rice is very important to the Filipino culture. And then lastly, maghain, to set the table. Maghain. So now let's see how all of these verbs will be conjugated or changed so that we can use them in these in certain phrases. So again, let's look at these verbs one more time. Try saying them with me. Magluto, to cook. Magluto. Magluto. And then kain, to eat. Kain. Inom, to drink. Inom. Tikman, to taste. Tikman. Magsaing, to cook rice. Magsaing. And then maghain means to set the table or to prepare food. Maghain. Orpik said, what time does the stream end? He or she has work at 7 bukas. It usually lasts about an hour, but if you happen to jump off, this recording will be on my YouTube channel afterwards. Okay, so those are the verbs. Now, just a note about verb conjugation in Tagalog. So, first of all, a verb is an action word. Sometimes I like to just start from the very basics so we don't lose any information. So, a verb is an action word, okay? And then to conjugate means to change into a different form. One time in my class, I was throwing this word around, conjugate, and someone asked, sorry, what does conjugate mean? So conjugate means to change into a different form. Okay, so we have to change it depending on the tense we are using. So here are the different types of tenses. There's the present tense. I am eating. Right now, I am eating. That's the present moment, right? The current moment in time. Present tense. Then there's past tense. So past tense is like yesterday or last week, the other month. So it's already happened. That's past tense. Then there's future tense, which is tomorrow, next week, next year. It will happen in the future. That's future tense. Then these are just some other tenses. There's the present perfect tense, like you have been eating. There's the pluperfect tense, I had eaten lunch. And then there's just so many more in English. So that's just the idea here. We're going to take a verb and then we're going to conjugate it or change it depending on the tense. Okay? And feel free to write any questions in the comments. Oh, Timmy Time said, hello, Pat. Hello. Kamusta ka? Sometimes they go really fast, these comments. So if yours gets pushed up too quickly and I don't catch it, feel free to write it again. Okay, so that is just an overview of verb conjugation. Now, in Tagalog, there are 5 main types of verbs. I love linguistics and I love grammar. So take a look at this. There's mag-verbs, ma-verbs, in, and e-verbs. Okay, so those are the 5 different types of verbs. We're going to focus on only a few of them tonight because not all of the verb types are covered in the verbs that we talked about. But you'll see kind of this pattern that we have to follow. BK Park said verb conjugation is sobrang mahirap. Verb conjugation is very hard. It can be hard. There's like patterns, but then sometimes like there are exceptions. So yeah, it can be tricky, but I would say I'll give you some tips as we learn. Okay, let's keep going. So some of these verbs are actor focused and some are object focused. What does that mean? An actor focused verb means that the subject is doing the action. For example, The boy is playing. The subject here is the boy, and he is doing the action. He is playing. The boy is playing. So that is actor focused. Kind of makes sense, right? Now, object focused verbs are when the action is being done to the subject. So, for example, wash the dishes. Wash the dishes. Now, the subject are the dishes. And then the action is being done to them. They are being washed. Okay, so wash the dishes. All right. Now, so that's just the difference between actor and object-focused verbs. We'll see how this affects the phrase that we have to say. Okay? Let me just catch up on some of these comments. Brian Wong said, how often do you do these online lessons? We have been doing Tagalog Thursdays for like 4 or 5 weeks now. So Tagalog Thursdays, I try to come on here on YouTube and on Instagram or TikTok live. Usually at around this time, sometimes a little bit earlier. And then I like to repeat the lesson another time during the week, just in case people weren't able to join the live. I know people like to write in the chat if they have specific questions. I have to do repeats on like the last 2 lessons, but they will come. I promise. I'm going to work on them next week. All right. Yeah, so object focused has to be a direct object. Yes, that's the idea. It's like a direct object there. All right, let's keep going. So now, in order to make a phrase, here are some subject pronouns that we can use. Ako means I. Ako. Ka is referring to you, singular. Ka. Siya is he or she. So you'll notice it's gender neutral. Siya, he or she. You have to listen to the context clues to determine who someone is talking about. And then just a note about pronunciation, it's siya, siya. The S-I-Y combination makes the sh sound in Tagalog. Some regions say siya, but in the Luzon, central Luzon area, in the Tagalog region, it's siya, siya. Next, sila is they, sila. Tayo is we inclusive, tayo. And then kami is we exclusive. So in Tagalog, there are 2 types of we. There's inclusive and exclusive. For example, tayo is all of us together. It's inclusive. Everyone is included. Kumakain tayo. We are all eating. You see how it's inclusive? Now, kumakain kami is me and someone else. Me and my husband, Chris. Kumakain kami. We are eating. You are not included. I'm just telling you about it. For example, you called me and you're like, hey, what are you doing? I would say, oh, kumakain kami. We are eating. It's exclusive because you're not included. That's kind of tricky there, but I think you'll see it if in these examples. Gosh, Instagram, why didn't you tell me my microphone was not plugged in? Let me know if this works a little bit better, okay? Okay, so my microphone is plugged in. Hello, hello. Let me know if that helps or if it's worse. Okay, now, kayo is you plural. Kayo, so that's you all. Kumakain kayo, you all. So that's you plural. Okay, so try saying those with me. Ako is I. Ka is you singular. Siya is he or she. Sila, they. Tayo, we inclusive. Kami, we exclusive. Kayo, you plural. Okay? Yes, Jack said, what about kayo? Yep, and that's correct, Cassidy Lee. Kayo is like y'all, you all. Are you in the South like me? Y'all is very, very common. You all. Very good. All right. Anyone have any questions about these subject pronouns? There's a little twist there we'll see at the end. But those are just some subject pronouns we're going to start with. Now, this is the basic sentence structure when we want to say like a phrase. Verb goes first, and then it's the pronoun. Verb and then pronoun. Take a look at this. Magluto means to cook. So here is a phrase, nagluluto ako. I am cooking. Nagluluto ako. Do you see how the verb goes first? And then it's the pronoun. Nagluluto ako, I am cooking. Nagluluto ka, you are cooking. Nagluluto siya, he or she is cooking. Nagluluto sila, they are cooking. Nagluluto tayo, we are cooking. Inclusive, all of us. We are in the same kitchen. We are cooking together. Actually, someone in one of my classes said that. When you think of tayo, think of together. Tayo, together. Tayo, together. We are all doing it together. Kind of makes sense. So, nagluluto tayo, we are cooking. Nagluluto kami, we are cooking exclusive. So, me and my kids, nagluluto kami. Nagluluto kami. We are all cooking, or we are cooking. Last one, nagluluto kayo, you all are cooking. So you all as a class, nagluluto kayo. Gerard said, can you do an example with kayo? Yep, that last one, nagluluto kayo. Nagluluto kayo. Okay. Oh, Jack said, how does mag end up nag? Very good. That's a good question. It's part of the conjugation pattern. We'll see it in just a minute, okay? Now, just a note about Tagalog verbs. All Tagalog verbs have a root word. There's a root in there. So take a listen, or listen carefully for the root words. Then an affix or an infix is added to conjugate the verb. So something is added to the beginning. Sometimes it's added in the middle. Sometimes it's even added at the end. And that will indicate if it's present, past, future, or any other tense. Okay, so there's a root word and then something is added. For example, magluto, again, to cook. Nagluluto ako means I am cooking. That's present tense. Nagluto ako, I cooked. That's past tense. Magluluto ako, I will cook. That is future tense. So I want you to point out the root words when you're listening to Tagalog. That will really help in the translation of whatever someone is saying. So if you can pick out root words, that's kind of half of the battle. Then you have to figure out, are they cooking right now? Did they cook yesterday? Or are they going to cook in the future? Okay, so one tip there is really listen to root words. Oh, Eric Kev said, nagluluto ako ng kare-kare. Oh, pahingi, can I have some? Oh, Deborah said, what is the difference between kami and kayo? Let's take a look again. Oh, kami is we exclusive. So me and someone else. Nagluluto kami, we are cooking. Kayo is you all. You all as a class, nagluluto kayo. All right? Good question. Any other questions that I have not seen? Okay, if you have a question and I didn't see it, feel free to write it again. Darius said, how's it going today, Pat? Mabuti naman. It's going good. Ikaw, kumusta ka? All right, so now let's start with these mag-verbs. Remember I said there are 5 main types of verbs in Tagalog. Mag, ma, in, and e. We're going to start with mag-verbs. Mag-verbs are actor-focused. Remember, it's a direct subject, direct object. They are also the most common type of verb in Tagalog. The ones we learned tonight were magluto, to cook, magsaing, to cook rice, maghain, to set the table. So do you see how they all have mag at the beginning? So that tells you, oh, I have to conjugate it like a mag verb. Now, here is the pattern for conjugating mag verbs. So this is the pattern. The affix is nag. Then there's a repeated first syllable. And then the root. So magluto becomes nagluluto. Nagluluto. Then magsaing becomes nagsasaing. Do you see how the affix is nag? Then there's a repeated first syllable, and then it's the root. Nagsasaing ako. I am making rice. Last one, maghain, to set the table or to prepare food. Maghain is naghahain. Naghahain. Naghahain ako ng hapunan. I am preparing dinner, or I'm setting the table for dinner. Okay? So those are the different examples of how you conjugate mag-verbs. So again, the pattern is the affix is nag, then there's the repeated first syllable, and then the root. Magluto becomes nagluluto. So I think it was Jack on YouTube asked, how does mag end up as nag? Okay, so that is where that comes from. It's just the conjugation pattern. So let's see some phrases here. So, nagluluto ako ng adobo. Do you see how the pattern is there? Nag is the affix, then there's a repeated first syllable, and then the root. Nagluluto ako ng adobo. Ng, ng, means some or a thing. So, I am cooking adobo. I am cooking some adobo. Someone asked a very good question in one of my classes. Nang, do you have to have nang? Could you just say, nagluluto ako adobo? I am cooking adobo. Yes, you have to have nang in this phrase. Otherwise, it's an incomplete sentence. So, I am cooking some adobo. Nagluluto ako ng adobo. One more thing a lot of people always get mixed up is what is the difference between ang and nang? Ang is an article, meaning the or a thing. Nang is a preposition. Sometimes it's just a sentence marker that goes before a noun. Again, translating to some or a thing. Let me take a look at some of these questions here. Oh, yes. Doesn't the sentence have to be object focused since kare-kare is the direct object and subject? Let me take a look at Kev's comment again. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, my goodness. That is such a good question. Orpik. So, yes, sometimes a verb can be object or subject focused. In Kev's comment, it was subject focused, but yes, you're correct. It could also be object focus, in which case we would have to change the pronoun. But Kev's comment was correct. Nagluluto ako ng kare-kare, because in his context, it is subject focus. Very good. But yes, in other contexts, it could also be object focused. We'll actually see an example of that at the very end. Okay, another example for mag-verbs. Nagsasaing ako ngayon. Nagsasaing ako ngayon. Nagsasaing ka ngayon. You are cooking rice right now. So this is just an example of how you can use like context clues. Ngayon means right now. Ngayon. Ngayon can also mean today. Like, nagsaing ako ngayon. I made rice today. So again, just depending on the context clues, we know it's right now because the conjugation is in the present tense. Nagsasaing ka ngayon. You are making rice right now. Rico on Instagram asked, does yung mean is? Yes. Yung and ang are interchangeable, and it means like yung sometimes actually means the thing. Like yung adobo, the adobo, ang adobo. Same thing, however, in different contexts, it means like the thing. Yung can be a little bit more specific. Okay, let's keep going. Last example here is naghahain kami ng hapunan. We are setting out dinner or we are preparing dinner. Naghahain kami ng hapunan. So what I want you to get from this slide and from these examples is first, you can see the conjugation pattern in use, right? So affix is nag, then there's a repeated first syllable, and then the root. Nagluluto, nagsasaing, Naghahain. And then, if you want to add an object, the sentence marker here is nang. N-G, nang. There is another nang in Tagalog. N-A-N-G, nang. That one is an adverb and always goes with a verb. So the only difference is if you're writing it out, you should know the difference. Nang, N-A-N-G, is an adverb, always goes with a verb. N-G is it's like a sentence marker, sometimes a preposition, and it goes with a noun. Okay. Now, I want you to do some examples. Let's take a look at these. He is cooking pansit. Siya is he, and I want you to translate it in Tagalog. He is cooking pansit. What do you think? What do you think? Oh, you're welcome, Jez. Salamat sa lahat ng mga video mo, ate. Maraming salamat din. How would you say he is cooking pansit? Pansit. He is cooking pansit. How would you say he is cooking pansit? And I gave you a hint. Siya is he. Jack said, magkukuking ako. You could do that. You could do Taglish. Absolutely. If you don't know a verb in Tagalog, you could turn it into a mag-verb. Magkukuk ako. Very good. Yes, Orpix. Yes, very good. Sure got it. Coconut Dreams, very good, very good. Bonnie, you got it. Deborah, very good, very good. So again, here it is. Nagluluto siya ng pansit. Oh, not again. On Instagram, I did it again where I got the dog ears. I don't know how to undo that, you guys. That's what happened last time. Okay, it's going to have to stay. It's going to have to stay. I'm sorry. Very good. Yes. So, nagluluto siya ng pansit. Very good, you guys. Yes, JM got it. Nagluluto siya ng pansit. So, again, I want you to focus on the sentence structure. It's verb, then pronoun, then nang, and then the object. Nagluluto siya ng pansit. Yes, Orpik said, siya and nang can be combined to make siyang. Is this legal? Yes, absolutely. Tagalog is all about making like contractions or putting words together. So, nagluluto siyang pansit. It doesn't, you can, technically you can. It's not what is commonly said. Like, it's not what is heard, but it is not wrong. All right. They are making rice. Oops, I just showed you the answer. They are making rice. Sila is they. Brian said, what's pansit? Who would like to describe pansit? Yes, Deborah said Filipino noodles. It's just like noodles that are stir-fried. They have veggies, sometimes shrimp, sometimes chicken. And it's definitely influenced by like the Chinese culture. Actually, I looked it up one day and it goes back all the way to when like the Chinese immigrants moved to the Philippines. And actually, it was considered like fast food because it was quick to make. And then they sold it for like very cheap, and then a lot of people would buy it when they were like out and about or during their lunch break. So yes, and it is commonly served at all special occasions, birthdays, New Year's, and it represents long life when you eat it on your birthday. Yes, Jack said very thin noodles, also, although sometimes they can be thick noodles as well. So pancit bihon versus pancit canton. Canton is the thicker noodles. Pancit bihon is the thinner noodles. All right. They are making rice. What do you think? They are making rice would be nagsasaing sila. Nagsasaing sila. So nagsasaing means making rice. And then sila is they. Very good. Sure, you got it. You got it. All right. Next, David Jr. said it's one of my favorites. Me too. I love pancit. Very good. All right. Are you preparing lunch? I didn't mean to show you the answer. Are you preparing lunch? Ka means you. Tanghalian is lunch. Ba is a question word. So are you preparing lunch? Here is how you would say it. And I want to show you because ba has a certain placement. Naghahain ka ba ng tanghalian? Oh, I misspelled tanghalian there. There should be a G. Naghahain ka ba ng tanghalian? All right. So, are you making lunch? Ba goes after ka. Okay? So, naghahain ka ba ng tanghalian? Are you preparing lunch? All right. Now, let's take a look at these verbs. Remember, there are 5 main types of verbs: mag, ma, in, and e verbs. Mag, we just learned. Now let's take a look at these verbs. They can be actor or object focused. Now, kain means to eat. We learned that right in the beginning. Kain means to eat. Inom means to drink. Now let's take a look at their conjugation patterns. Usually for verbs, the pattern is goes between the first and second letter, and then it's the root. Goes before the first and second letter, and then it's the root. For example, kain becomes kumakain. Kumakain. So goes between the first and second letter, and then it's the root. Hello on Instagram. If you are just joining me, again, all of this is on my YouTube channel. You will be able to follow along. Okay? So, that is the common pattern for verbs. Inum is different. It's a miscellaneous verb. This is the conjugation for inum. Inum will be umiinom. Umiinom. So technically, it is still an verb. But the doesn't go where it usually goes. This time, for the word inum, it goes at the beginning of the word. And then there's a repeated first syllable, and then it's the root. Umiinom. So what I just want you to get from this is try to remember these patterns, or at least try to recognize them when you hear someone speak Tagalog. Okay? Now, here are some phrases that you might hear or see using kain and inom. Kumakain ako ng lumpia. I am eating lumpia. Kumakain ako ng lumpia. So do you see the pattern here? The just goes between the first and second letter. Kumakain ako ng lumpia. I am eating lumpia. Now, for inom, you could say, umiinom sila ng tubig ngayon. Umiinom sila ng tubig ngayon. Oh, Coco JJ on Instagram said, but why is needed? Why is needed at all? So it's like, why can't you just say inom, inom, inom? Again, because it's the idea of conjugating a verb or changing the verb into a different tense, right? Kind of like eat, I am eating something, or I ate something, or I will eat something. So you have to change the verb depending on the tense. Very good question, though. It would be very easy if all the verbs could just stay the same. Okay. Kumakain ako ng balot. Talaga, Kev? Pahingi nga. Kev is eating balot, and I said, oh, can I have some? Very good. Kumakain ako ng lumpia. Oh, you are BK Park. Awesome. Bibimbap is also sarap. Yes, Dutchman, you're correct. Any questions about all of these or any of these phrases or how to use verbs? Now, let's take a look at some examples here. I want you to translate these to Tagalog. I am eating breakfast. Breakfast in Tagalog is almusal. How would you say I am eating breakfast? Or They are drinking alcohol. Alak is alcohol. Did you know that? Alak is alcohol. So how would you say that? I am eating breakfast and they are drinking alcohol. Okay, this is how you would say it. I am eating breakfast. Yes, K-Dog got it on YouTube. Kumakain ako ng almusal. Very good. Sure, got it. Yes, Coco JJ, very close. Kumakain almusal. Don't forget the pronoun. So, kumakain ako ng almusal. I am eating some breakfast. You have to have that nang in there, and it just indicates like some or a thing. So you have to have nang, otherwise it's an incomplete sentence. Kumakain ako ng almusal. Very good. Brian Wong got it. Umiinom sila ng alak. They are drinking alcohol. Very good. K-Dog got it as well. Umiinom sila ng alak. Very good. So now you know. Now you know if you go to the Philippines and you hear the word alak, it's like, oh, gusto mo ng alak? Be sure you know what they're asking. Do you want alcohol? Yes or no? Oh yes, very good. BK Park said, umiinom ako ng tubig. I am drinking water. All right, this is the last type of verb we will practice tonight. In-verbs. Again, remember there are 5 types of verbs. Mag, ma, in, and e. We learned mag-verbs. We learned verbs. Now, this is the in-verbs. These are usually object-focused. Tikman is to taste, and this was the only in-verb we learned tonight. Tikman. Now, this is the pattern for tikman in the present tense. In goes between the first and second letter, and then it's the root. So, tikman becomes tinitikman. Tinitikman. So, in goes between the first and second letter, and then it's the root. Tinitikman. Rico said, is alak alcohol? I thought it was wine. It's alcohol, just like in general. Very good, very good. Jack said, umiinom sila ng Red Horse. Red Horse is a very strong beer made in the Philippines. Yes. Yes, K-Doc said, does gusto mean to want and to like? Yep, it can mean both depending on the context. All right, let's keep going. Okay. Based Pedro said, the dog ears are too funny. I don't know how to turn it off. This is what happened last time too. I'm sorry. Okay, so here's an example of using in a sentence. I'm sorry, tikman in a sentence. Tinitikman ko yung sopas. I am tasting the soup. Tinitikman ko yung sopas. So there is the pattern. In goes between the first and second letter, and then it's the root. Tinitikman ko yung sopas. Does anyone notice a difference here? There is something different here. All right. Tinitikman ko yung sopas. I am tasting the soup. Does anyone notice something different? Anyone? Let's see. Oh, Bonnie, I'll answer your question in just a minute, okay? So, this time, we are saying, tinitikman ko yung sopas. Ko means I in this phrase. So far, we have been using ako, right? Nagluluto ako, I am cooking. But now we are saying, tinitikman ko, I am tasting. So instead of ako, we are using ko. And ko is a possessive pronoun. You'll see down here in this like pink box. And in this green box, it says in and e verbs must be used with a possessive pronoun since the object is the focus of the sentence. So remember, Coco JJ said, is ko short for ako? I guess technically, but they're different. They are different types of pronouns. And again, this green box says anytime we are using an in or e verb, we have to use a possessive pronoun. I think of it as the person in the sentence is in possession of that object that is in focus. So we have to use a possessive pronoun. Okay, so here are some possessive pronouns. Ko is my or I. Mo is your or you, singular. Niya, her or his, he or she. Nila, their or they. Natin, our or we inclusive. Namin, our or we exclusive. Ninyo is your or you plural. And then, oh, that's it. Nyo is your or you plural. Sorry, I got distracted by some of these comments. Yes. Okay. So those are the different types of possessive pronouns. And who was it? I think Deborah. Deborah on YouTube asked, how do you know if a verb is an verb? Or how do you know if it's an verb? So for some verbs, it's obvious what type they are, like magluto, magsaing. They are mag-verbs because they have mag in them. However, for verbs like inom, kain, tikman, they don't have the infix in their root, right? Or in their infinitive form. Infinitive means like not conjugated. So you have to, it's just a matter of gaining more vocabulary. Unfortunately, there is no rhyme or reason that I have discovered. I've tried looking it up, and there's no clear explanation as to why some verbs fall into the category, why some verbs are ma-verbs, or why some verbs are e-verbs. I think it's just from the linguistic gods back in the day. Someone in Tagalog was like, this is going to be an in-verb. This is going to be an verb. Something like that. There is no clear explanation. If I discover one, I will share it. Or if anyone knows of an explanation why they are that way, please let me know. But again, it's just one of those things where you have to listen to Tagalog, kind of make a mental note of how verbs are conjugated, and then conjugate it in that way again next time. Okay, so now let's take a look at tikman. And here are some examples. So, I am tasting the dessert. I am tasting the dessert. Panghimagas means dessert. How would you say that? I am tasting the dessert. Dutchman said, I know there's a difference between ako and ko, but people don't understand you? They'll understand you. It's just not technically correct. You know, someone might correct you and say, oh, it should be ako, it should be ko. But technically they like mean the same thing. Cassidy said, wow, Tagalog takes a lot of memorization. I know, it can be kind of tricky. I would suggest maybe watching some Tagalog movies. Netflix has some. Prime Video has some as well. Sometimes YouTube just has some free Tagalog videos or Tagalog movies. They might be a little bit older. But it's a good way to listen and catch patterns, a good way to listen for root words or things like that. Or if you know a native Tagalog speaker, ask them to speak to you only in Tagalog. Try that. All right. Very good. Sure and Brian, you got it. Tinitikman ko ang panghimagas or yung. Very good. Yes, so both of you said yung or it could be ang. Again, they are interchangeable, but yung is a little bit more specific. It's like, oh, I'm tasting the desserts or I'm tasting the dessert. Very good, very good. Now, how would you say, taste this? Taste this. How would you say, taste this? Ito means this. Oh, Deborah asked, can you suggest some nice Filipino movies? If you have Netflix, I just recently watched Rewind. Has anyone watched it? So Rewind, I think it was like the biggest blockbuster movie in the Philippines recently. And It has Ding Dong Dantes and Marian Rivera. They are actually married in real life and they are starring in it together. Oh my goodness, it's happy and sad at the same time. The premise, I won't give you the ending. They are married, but then she dies. That's not a secret. Okay, that's in the that's in the preview there. She passes away and then he is given a chance to spend more time with her. He like gets a chance to rewind for like a few days, or maybe it's like one day. I don't remember. But he has a chance to kind of redo part of his relationship. That's a good one. Oh my goodness, it's so good. Yes. Louis said, yes, it's crazy. It is kind of a crazy movie, but it's so good. Oh my goodness, it's good. Ah, yes, Bonnie said, I cried so much watching Rewind. If you love someone, you might cry. Yes. Oh, Ray said, I saw advice by a linguist that language acquisition is faster and a better way to learn. Where should I start as a total beginner? I would say, as a total beginner, try getting more vocabulary. So, vocabulary about things that you see or use every day. And then use those vocabulary terms little by little in your everyday conversation. For example, key in Tagalog is susi. So if you wanted to say, where are my keys? You can say, where are my susi? And then little by little, add more and more terms to that phrase until you can say the whole phrase. So where in Tagalog is saan. So you could say, saan my susi? Where are my keys? Then go back and figure out how to say it. So saan ang susi ko? Or saan ang mga susi ko? Mga is plural. So saan ang mga susi ko? So you see how I kind of started little by little. I think that's the best way from what I've seen to learn a language. It's like you don't have to do it all at once. No one is expecting you to be fluent. And I think that's a lot of pressure if you really strive for that goal from the get-go. So just go little by little. It helps if you have sticky notes. One of my students, oh my goodness, she was in Spain. She would put sticky notes on all of the things that she has around her just so she could practice those words in Tagalog. Okay, you guys are taking me off track here. How do you say taste this in Tagalog? It is tikman mo ito. Tikman mo ito. Castro Carmela, hi ate. Hi din sa'yo po. Tikman mo ito. Ito means this. Okay. Now, last thing I want, it's not really last, second to last thing. I want to show you how to say commands or how you could use them in a statement form. Magluto ka. Cook. Magluto ka. Do you see how magluto stays as magluto? We're not conjugating it, right? It's not nagluluto. It's just the word itself. Magluto. Magluto. Next, you might also hear someone say, magluto ka na. Magluto ka na. Na means already, or it can be an emphasis. Magluto ka na. Cook already. If you're taking a long time, maybe you're spending a lot of time cleaning the kitchen first, and someone is like, hey, go ahead, magluto ka na. Cook already. So that's what na means. You might hear that as well. Next, magsaing ka. Make rice. Magsaing ka. Or, maghain na. Set the table. Set the table already, or set the table now. Maghain na. Maghain na. So these are some of the terms you might hear. You might hear ka, meaning you go do it, or na, meaning already. Okay. Okay. Next, kain na, eat already. That's a common phrase that you might hear after someone's been cooking. They're like, oh, kain na, eat already. Go ahead and eat. Kain na. An alternative way to hear this or say this is kumain ka na. Go ahead and eat. They mean the same thing. Kain na or kumain ka na. Kumain ka na is the longer form. The shortcut would just be kain na. But same idea there. Uminom ka. Drink. Go ahead and drink. Uminom ka. This is interesting because so far we've seen all these verbs unconjugated, right? Unconjugated. It's not like nag and then a repeated first syllable and then the root. Same with kain. It's the unconjugated form. However, if you want to tell someone to go ahead and drink, you do have to conjugate it. Uminom ka. It's the present tense conjugation there. Again, inom is very different from all the other verbs in the category there. Next, tikman mo, taste it. Tikman mo. So those are just some quick and short phrases. Maybe keep in your pocket and say it the next time it's time to eat. Okay? So just practice those with me one more time. Magluto ka. Cook. Magluto ka. Go ahead and cook. Or magluto ka na. Magluto ka na. Magsaing ka. Make rice. Magsaing ka. Maghain na. Set the table. Maghain na. Yes, Cassidy. Maghain na ng lamesa. Set the table. Very good. Kain na. Eat already. Go ahead and eat. Kain na. Or kumain ka na. Kumain ka na. All right. Uminom ka. Drink. Or go ahead and drink. And then, tikman mo. Taste it. All right, let me just catch up on some of these questions. Hang on one second. Oh, yes. Here are some other movies that people suggested. Let's see. Dollhouse on Netflix. I have not seen that. Bride for Rent with Kim Chiu and Zian Lim. Oh, too bad they're broken up now. How sad. Yes, that is another good one. Okay. Yes. So if you have any other Filipino movie suggestions, you can write it in the comments for people to look at. All right. So those were just some examples. Now, I want to show you this one last thing about actor or object focused verbs. Okay. So we learned kumakain siya. Kumakain siya. We learned kain as in verb, right? She is eating. Or kumakain siya ng kanin. She is eating some rice. That's just showing you how to add an object. Ng blank. She is eating some rice. Kumakain siya ng kanin. Lastly, kumakain siya ng saging. She is eating a banana. Kumakain siya ng saging. So you see how kain is being conjugated as an verb here. Oops. That is because all of these sentences are actor focused. What is she doing? She is eating. She is eating rice. She is eating a banana. The focus is on the actor and on what she is doing. Take a look at these phrases. Kinakain niya yung cake. She is eating the cake. Or kinakain niya yung pandesal. She is eating the pandesal. Pandesal is a Filipino bread. It has like condensed milk in it, sugar. It has breadcrumbs on the outside, usually eaten in the morning for breakfast. So, kinakain niya yung pandesal. Now, take a look. These are conjugated with in. So, it's not anymore. Now, kain is being conjugated as an in-verb. Yes, Cassidy said, kinakain, my jaw dropped. I know, this is an example of where a verb can be actor or object focused. So again, it's object focused. Here, the question is like, what is she eating? What is she eating? She's eating the cake. The focus is on the cake, right? The focus is on the object. What is she eating? She's eating the cake. Or she's eating the pandesal. Versus in the actor-focused verb, or in the actor-focused sentence, the question is like, what is she doing? She's eating some rice. She's eating a banana. That's the difference there. Very interesting. Rich said, mahal kita Pat, you are the best. Salamat, salamat. Yes, Jack said, kumakain ako. That's correct. I am eating. Okay? Now, last thing I will ask you. Ano ang paborito mong pagkain? Ano ang paborito mong pagkain? Very good, Sure said. If you recognize the kain, then you can figure it out. Again, that is the idea of listening for root words and then using the context clues. Very good, very good. Can anyone answer this question? Ano ang paborito mong pagkain? Rico, you got it. His favorite is tacos. His or her. Tacos. Very good, very good. Ano ang paborito mong pagkain? Tell me. So yes, that means what is your favorite food? Ano means what. Ang means is. Paborito is favorite. Mong is your. Pagkain is food. What is your favorite food? Very good. Sure said pizza. Yes, Boots got it. What is my favorite thing to eat? Yep. What is my favorite food? Yes. Very good. Yes, Cassidy said, does this mean certain verbs have multiple verb conjugations set already by the Tagalog gods? Only some verbs. Usually, mag and ma verbs are always actor focused. Usually, always, I just kind of contradicted myself. Usually, mag verbs are actor focused. And then in, and e can be either or. Yeah. One of those things, again, that has already been said. This is how you could say this, or your response. Sinigang ang paborito ko. Ano ang paborito mong pagkain? Sinigang ang paborito ko. What is your favorite food? Sinigang is my favorite food. Sinigang is like a stew. It's sour soup because it has tamarind in it, which makes it a little bit sour. Usually it's made with pork, can also be made with fish. It has lots of veggies in it, and it's just so good. I love it. Very good. Crispy pata is the best, Hector said. Very good. Yes. Had a lot of trouble with this, but the key in understanding really is to look at the question. If the question focuses on what someone is doing, it's actor focused. If it focuses on the verb to eat, then it's object. Yep, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, that's correct. Let's see. Yes, Big Daddy. There is a lot of Spanish influence in it. Kare ang paborito ko. Very good, Jones. You got it. Sinigang, pizza, crispy pata, ube, ice cream, pork adobo ang paborito ko. Very good. I want to show you some alternative ways to respond. So again, this means my favorite is sinigang, but you might also hear the response this way. Ang paborito ko, or ang paborito kong pagkain ay sinigang. Ang paborito kong pagkain ay sinigang. So literally, that means the favorite food of me is sinigang. And this sentence structure is formal. It's not usually used in common conversation, but it's not wrong. It's a little too correct almost. Like no one really says that. It's almost like Shakespearean. But that's correct. Ang paborito kong pagkain ay sinigang. Another way to say it is, ang paborito ko ay sinigang. So this one is a little bit less formal. It's perfectly acceptable as well. Sorry, I get distracted by some of these comments. Yes, kare-kare has peanut sauce in it. I think someone was asking, ano ang kare-kare? What is kare-kare? Usually made with beef, and then it has like peanut butter in it. Okay. And then lastly, the quick answer is just sinigang. Ano ang paborito mong pagkain? Sinigang. That's it. Okay, now just to review, this is everything we did tonight. We learned different verbs about eating and about food, and then we learned how to conjugate these verbs while we're using them in different phrases. And then we learned some food vocabulary during our practice questions as well. Does anyone have any questions before I let you go tonight? Oh, Rich said, why is food eliminated there? So in my answer, I said, sinigang ang paborito ko. I didn't say food, right? It's almost like asking, what is your favorite food? My favorite is sinigang. My favorite is sinigang. So you can add pagkain, like in this first example, the first alternative phrase, ang paborito kong pagkain ay sinigang. You don't have to say it, but you can. Very good question. Alrighty. Brian said, do I have homework for us to do at home? No, I didn't make any homework. Maybe next time I'll have some homework and then post the answer at a later time. But I hope you have a good rest of your day or evening, wherever you are. I'm going to go to bed, you guys. It's so late. Have a good night again whenever I see you. Try to catch me next Thursday, hopefully a little bit earlier than tonight. But thank you so much for joining me. Maraming salamat.